Welcome back to another episode of the YCrew pod. You are joined once again with the main man, Mr. Liam Ratus, and this time I have someone special once again for you guys. I'm bringing guests on guests, names on names, powers on powers, okay? And with me today I have none other than Mr. CJ Marks.
What up?
The realest of the real. The finest of the fine. Okay.
Super real. I'm fine.
The original Norwegian Mexican colored, the mixed breed masala that you've ever had in your life.
A whole steak Gatsby. A whole.
Colton, it's nice to have you on the podcast.
Thank you. I've always been the person that's voice appears in the background. And like I feel like now people's gonna be putting a face to the voice
name,
and it's like it's crazy. So this is me.
Can you tell the fans more about you? Who are you? Because you're saying you're the voice in the background, but like, who exactly are you? Are you just this random guy who pitched up at the Y?
I'm one of those anonymous people. I always tell people that I like to be a mystery. But in this case, for the viewers, I am Colton Marks. I reside all the way in Bontiville, Bontas as many people call it. I am old enough and I am both working at the YMCA. I'm one of the project managers and just the all-around jack of all trades type of thing, and my passion and love is music.
So for those of you who don't know, Colton is actually an excellent singer and an excellent musician.
So I blessed it.
But Colton, since you've been speaking about you coming out of Boontieville,
Yeah.
And you've obviously been through a journey.
Hectic.
You've been at the Y. You went to Norway.
Sure.
You've came back. You've come to work on my nerves.
Yeah.
And now you are experiencing a brand new life event. I can't disclose it here, but Colton is going through a big life event. So we're gonna go through a quick challenge, okay?
Okay.
I've seen people do it on TikTok, but I just wanted to try it for myself. So I'm going to ask some members of the crowd. So we have quite a big crowd with us today, ladies and gentlemen. We have Matthew in the background. Matthew, can you give a hooyah?
Yeah.
We have Landon on the camera. Landon, can you give a hooyah? That's a soft hooyah. We have Logan, our program volunteer. Oh, Logan? Hooyah. Okay, and we have Diamond.
That was a little bit different, eh? That was a different accent.
That was a bit different. Okay, I'm gonna act like I know this guy's name. Jaden. Oh,
wait, that man came out strong.
Yeah, he's from CPUT, so he's pure colored. He's
just
with a passion. But yeah, Colton, we're gonna ask some comments from the crowd, and we wanna know from a top 10 basis, how would you react if another male came up to you while you were walking maybe with your partner in the mall?
Yeah.
And they said this thing. From 1 to 10, how would you rate it? Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start by a juicy one. So I'll start first.
Okay.
So, and then we'll go around like maybe the table. Guys, don't be rude now. but like be like normal.
Be nice. Be nice.
So you're in the mall, you're walking.
First and foremost, is like 1 being the total worst and 10 being the best?
Is it 10? 1 is the
One
worst.
is the worst.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay. So 10 is like okay. So you walking in the mall, your partner's walking with you, and I will pause and I say,
That had to be you.
no, not me. I'm saying someone. Someone walks past and they're like, yo, that's a nice top you have on. But not to you, to your partner.
Okay.
1 to 10.
Okay.
How far is it?
Cool. I see there's gonna be a very hard activity that's gonna take place over here.
Just naturally. Think
But that's a
about
10 because I feel
that's
like
a 10.
people
I
can
can't-
compliment you on your clothes.
On your
And
clothes.
I don't have to take that in a negative way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Landon, do you have anything like a comment that would pop up?
Yeah, like I am in this comment. Like I must say something.
Yeah, you must say something. And Colton will rank it on how, if it's the worst or if it's the best.
That's a nice gene from behind.
Yo!
Ish. Okay. I would say that's That's a 5.
That's a 5.
That's a 5.
That
Yo,
you would rate that as a 5.
that's a 5.
Okay, that's bad. That's bad.
That's
Okay, so you think it can only get worse from here?
I feel it's only gonna get worse
Okay.
from here.
Okay, Logan, maybe you're gonna go soft. Why are you laughing?
She's thinking.
I said I like it like that.
Someone just said that. I said I like it like that.
That's a 9.
That's a 9.
I could ignore
that's
somebody
okay.
singing.
Yeah,
It's fine. That's
okay.
a 9.
Okay, Matthew, controversial. Mr. Controversial.
Ay.
Someone comes to your girlfriend and they pick her up to hug her and spin her around.
And you find out it's a male.
Yo!
Okay, it's a male best friend. That's a little bit different context. That's a little bit different context.
It's a friend that is now picking up a male friend that's picking
A male friend.
Jeez.
A 6.
A 6.
A 6.
So that's not bad for you.
No, look.
Carlton,
no.
Carlton has
Guys,
the most trust. I'm
The
telling
thing
you.
is, when you're speaking about my girl specifically,
Okay.
like,
okay.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, that's not gonna move
Yeah.
her. She is
Okay.
totally amazing. So shout out
Okay.
to
Shout out to
Courtney.
healthy relationships. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So there's no problem with that. Look,
Mm.
obviously you will feel something. I feel like something will be felt. And maybe you'll ask like a question like, "Oh, who's that?
Yeah.
What's his deal?" And-
Yeah.
But I think like insecurity wise, like I'm not a person that has that big of an issue.
Toxic. Carlton's not a toxic man, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Diamond.
What if somebody walks up to her and calls her beautiful and asks for her number?
Okay,
Yes, Daddy.
could I split it in half?
Okay.
Could I split it in half?
No, you can't split it in half. They are walking up to her. They're like,
It's a,
yo, you gorgeous. Can I get
no, because I'm just thinking like if somebody calls her beautiful,
Yeah.
like that makes me feel good as well because it just shows the quality of person that I'm dating. So it's like that's like a 7. So if you do think that my girl is beautiful, thank you very much. But if they ask a number, that's gonna be a 4. Because dude, you have no reason to have my girl's number. That's for sure.
True.
She don't need to assist you with homework. She don't need to assist you with anything because she don't need your number unless like it's work purposes or something like that. But there's
That must
there's
be
no
the
need
worst,
for
man.
that.
Like, I can't imagine your partner working with other gender. But anyway,
It happens.
that
It happens.
yeah.
It happens.
You need to deal with it.
Jaden, I know you're gonna come up with
He's
something.
come. Like, look
He's
at
been
the
thinking.
smirk on
He's
his
been
face
thinking.
is already telling me now that.
The whole portion need you those buns.
Yo!
What did he say?
Oh. Violence. I think the only answer is violence.
He's not done.
Yo!
What type of things go on in your
that-
mind,
that is
Jaden?
weird.
If anybody knows Jaden, fetch his mind.
Please.
But that specific scenario, that's a 1.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
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 the
that's
worst.
negatively bad right there.
That is
That's
the worst.
heavily bad.
That is a colored.
That's
yeah.
definitely a colored.
He's speaking like someone who would actually do that to someone.
I
don't trust
feel like
Jaden
he is
anymore,
one of
like,
those
yeah,
guys. I feel like he's one of those guys.
But that's
eh?
the worst one for
That will be the worst. Because I mean,
you. Okay.
like he said, if it now gives if it's like shows that the person is also interested in what has been done, like he said, twerking wise,
Yo.
that means you find pleasure in it. So then it's utter disrespect from both parties. So that becomes a 1. So I wouldn't take that. I'll probably just walk away
That would
and
be
like
my worst nightmare. Honestly, that
like that. I'm just
That's my worst
I'm just probably
nightmare.
done from that point.
I'm crying after that. You man.
I don't think I'll cry. Come on.
I'll cry, yo. The love of my life doing something like that. I would never forgive you, yo.
But so that is how much now?
Okay.
I lost
I
count.
think we're gonna end it off there before
Yeah,
we go. Before
Jaden
we go,
just
go
killed
a
it
bit-
off.
before we go a bit deeper into this. But yeah, thank you, Carlton, for sharing.
No problem.
It sounds like you are very secure, man. It sounds like you are knowledgeable about the relationships in general.
Let me put it to you like this.
Mm.
I think it's a trial and error type of thing. I don't think that it is something that necessarily comes easy. Yes, I think the thing that helped me a lot is that I learned to always try to be secure in myself. It's not necessarily first and foremost about the relationship, it's about your self-security. So I think like if she's secure in herself and I'm secure in myself, we are happy with ourselves, then when you become happy with each other and you actually build that bond, then like you won't actually feel like the next party is, oh, this is wrong, that's a negative, that's because we've both, like, everybody has experiences negatively wise and stuff like that in a relationship, but I can take that negativity there and either apply to my life and live it, or I can tell myself that there was lessons learned and I can move forward and I can use that, which I have done, to bridge the gap from a negative type of relationship to a more positive relationship. To me, if somebody wants to leave you, they can leave. That's how it goes. And that is something that I have professed to people before. If you want to go, you can go. So that's me being happy with myself.
Okay, that's mad.
Shots
that's
fired.
Easy. That's easy. But yeah, we're getting into the serious topic. I know there were some comments about like, that's a color right there. But yeah, we want to speak into that. You know, people's been avoiding the conversation about their culture. I would say, and I've always been hearing like from a lot of young people, yeah, this is my culture. Why do I listen to music loudly? Why do I do the things I do? Because it's in my culture. So like as fellow coloureds, you know, I just wanna explore what's this thing about coloured culture? Like what's it about? Because like I know it's been focused on like I think it's like house music, or they call it yacht music. Yacht music.
Yacht
and then
nomas.
there's like the way we grow up in our household. You know, you always have to be responsible.
Mommy throwing you with a slipper and stuff like
all
that.
All of these weird things. And then there's parties associated with parties. You know, colored parties need to be a specific way. Yeah, and it's the way we treat ourselves in schools, how we dress, why we need to come with a tight school pants, and a carry-more bag, and like
pants is
our
hanging.
faders need to be in, and like we need to flat iron our hair before we go out the night before, and we need to do our nails, and this is all part of the colored culture. And like I just want to ask you, do you think colored people like has a culture in general? Because I know culture is something very historic. I know it's something that derives from like traditions and beliefs. Like black people, they have a specific culture. They have specific traditions associated with the culture.
Definitely.
So colored culture. What's colored culture?
Culture.
Carlton
Culture.
culture.
I mixed my name into this. That's how profound it is. But colored culture, that is a unique culture, I must actually say. Especially as somebody growing up in those communities. I think it does stem a lot from westernized culture as well, because it's you know what's funny is that first and foremost the races of colored community is predominantly a mixture, right? And so we find people with different backgrounds, different ethnicities that has mixed together and has brought together this what we call now colored culture and community. And I think that from that way of living, like we've all taken from different parts of where we've come from, different parts of where we've been living our lives, and from there everybody just created their own way of living and their own way and lifestyle. And so from our generations before us, like there's just been a natural, generational thing where people grew up as per what my granny did, as per what my grandpa did, as per my auntie, my uncle, my mommy, my daddy. Like you had this way of living that has been incorporated into you because of what you saw both in the community, in the house, and the community outside the house. And it's like, it's crazy how that can be reflected, because let's be honest, your household is a lot more different than mine.
Yeah. We grew up differently.
Grew up a little bit differently. However, the community, the type of community that we both grew up in, has the same type of cultural trends, social ills, but just suited to the community.
So that's what I actually want to go into, man.
Yeah.
Like we speak about culture and colored culture, but we associating it to the negative things, man. Like I wouldn't want to be embraced as a colored because of parties and yard numbers and TikTok trends and having my fade in. Like,
exactly
that's not
though.
a culture, man. I want to know what does a colored culture look like? Does it look like someone who's resilient in education? Does it mean someone who has a strong sense of family responsibility?
Yeah.
Is it more of the what positive things come from it? Because I know colored kids, we struggle to find where we fit in.
Yeah.
And in general, young people struggle to find a place to fit in. And culture explains that, So if we can change our narrative of colored culture to being more positive, I believe. Because what's this thing that's always end of the year? What do they call it? Festive. Yeah, they call it festive.
Festive.
And Ditch Day. I don't even know what Ditch Day is.
What?
All the matriculants.
Oh, go to Clifton and this something.
Oh.
I'm like, this isn't culture, man. This is like activities.
Yeah, that's a westernized
I want to know what's a
type
culture.
of thing, though. The Clifton thing stemmed from westernized culture, where people who ended their schooling year went to certain places. They do it in Norway. People told me about that. If I'm not mistaken, a Diamond could correct me if I'm wrong, but some people tend to do it in America as well, where they go to beaches and they just have fun for their last final year. It's the same thing like this matric ball, We have a matric ball to end the year. That's the school's version with it. And then you have like students making these plans after that, and that's what they called it.
So when you guys, like even around the room, when you guys think colored culture, what do you think? Like, what do you think about? Is it something good? Not mostly. Yeah. So like that's what I'm trying to say. Like colored people, we need to like really look at ourselves and be like, like what's a colored culture? We
Exactly.
have a race designated to us, but we don't have culture. We don't have values. We don't have beliefs. What is it? And for the viewers as well, like what do you think colored culture is? What do you think it encompasses? Like
Interested
what's it
to
about? You know, because I know, like we're very close to family. That's the only thing I can say. Like I know a lot of colored people like close to family.
Yeah.
Some are pitchy too close, like living by their mommy's house for 30 years. That's not the closeness we want. But yeah.
But you know what's the thing of it? Like back in the days, and perhaps maybe those type of things changed over the years. We know that people's lives progress. As time goes on. But if you look at it, back in the days, the your child is my child type of community was the colored community.
Yeah, it was the colored community.
It was seen a lot in the colored community, because if somebody else's auntie saw you catching on nonsense in the street, first and foremost, you're getting a hiding by the auntie. And then they taking you home, and then they bring
your grandma,
and everybody had their piece of you before you got to your mother, and your mother sent you off to your father, and then they too punish you also at the end of the day. But in most of those cases, like most people look at it and say like, oh wow, the kids got so much hiding, and it must have been abuse, but it wasn't, because most young people that came from that culture, and that type of living in the community, a lot of them felt safeguarded, because not only were people looking out for me if I was catching on the worst things, but they made sure that I was safe. I mean, even think of it. Let's take one of the biggest negatives in the past, which is still present today. Gangsterism, right? Gangsterism.
Like everywhere, no?
Yeah,
in every province we go to. They think coloreds are gangsters.
Yeah.
Or they think we associate it with gangsters.
Exactly.
Apparently, yeah.
And people look at it, but did you know that back in the days, right? what we see today, young people is robbing old people, elderly, right?
Is the
They
values.
they lost a lot of their values. But in the past, gangsters would not touch a older person because of the fact that there was order in life.
Yeah.
The elderly was your forerunners, so you would respect them. Today, young people, because of and I'm gonna say it as it comes to my mind, but because of the social media, because of how things are found in life today, because of what we see outside, people feel like, oh, an adult can't tell me what to do. An adult can't look down upon if they take my voice away and all of that. But nobody was taking people's voices away. You understood that the auntie in the road, you need to show her respect. Everybody called auntie. Everybody
I still
called
say
uncle.
I still say it to this day. Like when you go into a
Exactly.
room, you say like, uncle.
Hello auntie, hello uncle.
Uh,
It didn't matter if that was your family, but the
Yeah.
community was your setting. So you knew. I mean, we drive sometimes in the road. How many people don't you greet in the day?
yeah.
And why is that? It's because there's a community of people that knows each other here, and that is what colored culture has been lacking.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say it, no?
Say it,
I'm gonna say it.
preach it.
Like, I think we as people should stop breaking each other down. I've seen it on TikTok where you've noticed that two singers, rappers, influencers, they're beefing. They're beefing over the same, like they always beefing. Like I don't know what is happening. Like Landon got a car, no? Landon got a car recently.
Well done, Landon.
Like, and people are envious. I'm not gonna lie. Like people are envious because
Exactly.
maybe Landon got a car before them or something like that. You know, and that spirit, it affects you, man.
It does.
What happened to your car, Landon?
So there was like this severe wind, no? And,
Yeah, it was the wind, no?
and then the neighbor's roof fell on my
Neighbor's roof fell on his window.
Randomly.
And I think that's just spirit, man. The spirit of negativity. Like, yo.
pure jealousy.
Like they stole my car even. And there's people in my community.
And
it's
you were
people
still
that
working on
I
your
was still
car.
working on my car. Like, and I think it happens a lot. Like, just wish success for the next man. Just celebrate the mandem.
Yeah.
Okay? Celebrate the mandem.
You know, Liam, there's something that my mother always used to tell me. And I've applied what my parents have always told me, because I know when I go outside in life, that things kind of keep me at bay. To make the right decisions. And there's something that my mom always told me. She said that sometimes you shouldn't be open to just telling everybody everything about your life.
Yeah.
So when I actually said at the beginning that I like to remain a mystery, it's actually a truth about me, because a lot of people don't know what is always happening in my life for a reason. Because, and I'm going to say it like we say it in the color community, people sug on you. You know, they look down upon you. They think to themselves, like, how many people in the community, or how many times have we as colored people been
Yeah.
told, oh, you're not gonna make it in life?
Like even with Gaten McKenzie, no? Like
Yeah.
he's created a lot of change, I believe. In the short term that
Yeah.
he's been in
Little by little.
in office. Like I mean, like and it was colored people like fighting that battle against him.
Yeah.
Nah, he's a colored bro. He's not gonna do anything in the and there's too much of this race in parliament or that race in parliament. Or how is he gonna get in and things like
Yeah.
that. Like why are we so envious of colored people? Like even Drickus, no? He won world champion now.
Yeah.
Like imagine that's a yeah, they're ripping South Africa in a good way. They're representing all races in a good way. So we should just look at a colored culture should be about embracement, love, unity, family. That's what it should be about, not about yacht parties and TikTok trends and all the things that it's going for. Not that it's bad, you know.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love the fact that people in our community are getting famous, or getting recognized, or having a sense of belonging on social media. Like a lot of influencers are blowing up.
Definitely. I mean, look at
Yeah.
what's that girl's name? Paxton Phillies.
Yo, I forgot about that girl.
I know. A lot of
I
people forgot about her,
that
but
girl.
she came from. I don't want to be mistaken, but it could be either Elsie's or Belhar side, or
I
Bishop
don't know,
Lavis,
I don't know.
one of those areas.
think
But
it could be
it's a
Lavis.
predominant colored area. and she became a vocalist, a singer, songwriter. She recorded songs, and she's done showcases. But the moment she became famous, people's first thoughts was, oh, she's gonna be like every other singer that you see out there. She's
Even
not
with
gonna be
Tyler.
Tyler the same, youngster Cape Town, CPT.
And Jimmy Nevis,
Jimmy Nevis the same. You know,
Jeez.
People
Why do people switch up on our people like that? That's crazy. How easy it is
exactly,
to
and
switch
that's
up
the
on our people.
mindset. You see, the mindset of the colored culture is, although there's family orientation and there's keep it here, you know, the problem is that the moment we see somebody extending themselves out of the standard of colored community,
Out of the box.
yeah. So if we now see, say for example, Liam over here, he's staying now in Observatory, right? So now the moment Liam left Q Town, Liam is now coconut color
Yeah.
because he's living in Obs. He's now
I eat differently.
you know,
I
he
walk
eats
differently. What
burritos
you talking
now.
about?
He's
Okay, I was just trying cooking. You
Yeah, I
know,
know,
just
but-
burritos.
you know, if you have him on WhatsApp, you will see his creation. I
Yeah.
don't know how you got certain things that
Oh
white,
my
but okay.
word. I don't know.
But in general, the moment somebody bridges out of the reality that most people
About
believe,
what the color
what a
must
colour
be.
should be.
That is a.
that's
wha-
the standard.
Why are we defining what the color must be? In
We're
our
creating
culture?
social standards.
Yeah.
I went once to a community that was nicer than usual that I grew up in.
Nicer than usual.
Yeah, nicer than usual. You know, and I'm a boykie from Bonteville, like I said. You know,
Yeah.
and
You're not
and
used to this.
people, when I was walking in that area, and I had some friends with me, we were walking, and they looked at us and they were like, "Oh, what are you doing in this side of the world?" You know, so much so that people actually approached us and came to ask us, "What are you doing here?" You know, and we had to explain to them, we have a purpose being here.
Yeah.
There's a reason, as if people were policing us. You know?
We lost cut off in the conversation of culture and what colored culture was.
Yeah.
So we want to ask a really hard-hitting question on the podcast today. And I'm gonna direct it to you, but I'm also generally directing it to everyone else.
Yeah.
Do you think, with the current situation that we are in, that we would live in a community that is drug-free, gangster-free, poverty-free, and in a community where there is a better education system? Do you think it will happen, and how will we get there?
That's a deep question, firstly.
You can't answer it on the fly.
Yeah. And I don't also think that you can necessarily do an amount of research to be able to even have those type of totals, because it's very difficult to say, because the standard that we are in at the moment, or the standard of living for that per se,
Yeah.
is that I wouldn't say everything is kind of rigged, but due to social norms and due to how the community is built and also how the people are being taught, it is very difficult to say if we will ever see a community that is drug-ridden free, you know, and if it is like alcohol free and those type of things, due to the fact that some generations are still impacted by what past generations of lifestyles, and also new generations are also impacted by what they see around us. So to be honest, like, a lot of our community, they will watch something on TV and they will try it. That's even where the stemming of a lot of gangsterism even came from, because I saw how these people were maybe on a move, and I'm not saying that's where gangsterism started, but there are a lot of groups that first started out as a group of friends, you know, and then they became that. So it's very difficult to really say that, oh, by this time we will see, you know, the end of that and this and that. But I think that
Like, do you foresee it happening?
I foresee that it can happen.
Okay.
That it's important to have hope.
Yeah.
And for me, who is somebody that is a Christ follower, I believe that one must have faith. And sometimes that faith is extended into things that you cannot see. There's a lot of things that I think people have to deal with
Yeah.
in their personal lives, both mentally, spiritually, socially. They have to deal with. There are certain illnesses within life that has taken hold and captive of a lot of our young people because of past mistakes, because of
Yeah.
past generations. And I feel like it's as if there's this continuous lifestyle of having to say that, oh, my parents lived like that, so I need to live like that as well. You know,
Yeah.
that's all they could give me, and that's all that I'll become. If I can share a testimony of somebody that I knew of, there was a guy who stayed in Bonteville, right? Both his parents, alcoholics, drug addicts. I think something happened between his parents. I'm not too sure if they're still together and so forth. Broken house. Didn't stay in a conducive space. It was not even a space for one to study in. But you know what's fascinating about this young man? And he is a believer in Christ. But his mindset throughout school was that I want to go to school. I want to finish school so I can make a better life for myself and my family. I want to be different from the community. I don't want to be like the community is out there. And he works hard. I think when he came to grade 7, he passed with a lot of flying colors. Obviously, everybody has their difficulties. But point blank, when it came to matric, this guy passed distinction.
Jeez.
He ended up going to work under Helen Ziller, part of the DA.
Yeah.
He's been till today in political structures, right? And he's well known in that sector. He has taken care of his mom in her house. He has sorted her out. He's sorted himself. He's gotten the opportunity to travel. Now, for me, if that is not an example enough for young people out there to say that if somebody in Bonteville coming from a broken household has no real mentorship even to that extent, but was their own mentor, obviously they had their go-to people. Let's not take that away. There was probably people encouraging, maybe other family members. I don't know the full situation. But the fact that this young man came out of that situation and said to himself, I'm going to be better. I think that if young people in today's generation, I'm not talking about necessarily the past generation, because we know past generations can't let go of things.
Yeah.
But even as an encouragement for young people out there that is watching, you know, the mindset is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
It's super powerful. You know, I used to tell myself I would like to travel, right? I prayed about it. I said, Lord, I want to travel. And I told myself, I'm going to travel. I'm going to travel. I don't know how. It can be school. It can be missionary work. It can be through work itself. I don't know how I'm going to get it, but I'm going to travel. My first year coming into YMCA Athlone, and I was just doing my work, keeping my head down, working with a lot of you guys that was in Y Zone over there, you know. And then all of a sudden the opportunity came to me. Ryan came and asked, look, would you want to go to Kenya? Now, listen, my goal wasn't to go to another African country at first. But like,
You think
I thought to myself, this could be a foothold, because at least I could say I went to Kenya. And I was like, yes, sure, I'll go to Kenya. That's cool. And then he said, oh, but part of that is Norway. And I said, whoa, hold up. Wait a minute. I'm going.
I wouldn't have gone to Norway.
And that's what I thought.
told.
That's what I thought. This wasn't what I wanted.
wanted,
Norway wasn't on my list.
You're thinking like Spain.
Yeah, you know,
France,
something,
England.
you know, Puerto Rican and all,
Yeah.
you know, something fancy.
Yeah.
But I went there, and when I came back, I had a totally new perception of what life could be
is,
like.
Yeah.
I knew my life, and I knew what life could be like. And like since then, even if I'm still living in Bonteville, which I am at the moment, but there's nowhere in my life that I feel I need to remain like Bonteville.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's the whole concept about it, man. I think
Yeah.
like when people are exposed into a different environment that like really promotes productivity and helps growth, I think I think, yeah, that's the setting that we want. Like, imagine Q Town with no gangsterism. It's safe. The schools are reliable.
Sure.
Not a lot of young people drinking and smoking. There's not much influence.
Not much.
Yeah, you won't be going into gangs and things like that. So that's that like essentially the community you want to see. Because I'm sure if you take a colored kid, no, a colored Q Town lighty, like they say it. If you take him to like Muizenberg, or you take him to Constantia, or you take him to Rush for a day, and just take him to Cape Town and to go view the beautiful like sights, I promise that kid's whole behavior is going to change, and we've seen it firsthand.
Definitely.
So that's like the type of the community that we would like to see happening in Q Town. So like, how do you think we as YMCA Athlone and other stakeholders can take a step towards building such a community for our young people?
I think it comes exactly to what you were saying. You just said one of the key aspects. Taking somebody from what they know and showing them a difference. So in my case, when I got to see a whole different country, it changed the narrative for me so much.
Completely.
In your case, you got to see maybe not a different country or necessarily a lot of different areas, but when you came into the he was broke, man. But when you came into the YMCA, somebody in the YMCA took you and showed you
a
different type of standard. You know, when you wanted to always, let's say, swear, they taught you, no, why don't you just speak normal? When you wanted to maybe fight with every character you found, somebody else said, no, why don't you just talk about it? Somebody needs to take the opportunity just to show somebody something different. Change this.
True.
A lot of us have an issue here. Our mindset, our heart set, the combination of the two. A lot of us has that difference of opinion. Yes, we get that. But we only know this. I only knew Bontville. You only knew Q Town. That's what we knew.
Don't knock it till you try.
Don't knock it till you try it. How does it feel living in Observatory compared to living in Q Town?
I don't know, man. It's much better. I believe it's much safer, and like there's so much people like doing different things, man. Like there's guys at the gym, guys. These guys are big.
Okay.
These guys are big. But I'm saying like, it's just the environment. I think.
Yeah.
Obs is making me feel a bit more. I don't know. Like I want better. Like I want better for myself. Yeah.
Do you think that you feel like one of the more dangerous characters in the area?
I wouldn't say that. There's like surprisingly there's a lot of homeless people in Obs, and that's like freak scary for me. sorry for but that's like scary for me.
Yeah.
Like, because what if someone's, I don't know, steal me or kidnap me or something like that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now imagine.
But
Imagine you are in a place like Norway or those type of countries.
Yeah.
I felt honestly like the most dangerous character that there was, and people told me like that there are places in Norway that are dangerous.
Yeah.
Right? But I, for the life of me, couldn't think that place was
like,
as
not
dangerous
as
as
bad as
what, I mean,
Bontebal.
guys, have you been to our areas? I work in Q Town. I live in Bontebal. I know people from different areas and standards of life. It was too unrealistic for me, you know. And I think when I went through that culture shock, it was because of the fact that I knew I come from such a different background that when I came back, I didn't know how I was gonna fit into society again today. And that's the very same. You see, a lot of guys that maybe went into prison, right?
When they come out,
they have a community in prison. Now when they come out,
everything is so different.
Life moved on without them.
Yeah.
So you have these ongoing cultures and communities being built in different settings. But we as organizations, we have to take the opportunity to ask ourselves, is there something that we can present that's different? What has been done? Why hasn't it worked?
yeah, young people find where you fit in, man. Life is moving on without you, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's just the inevitable truth. So find where you fit in and establish your place in it strongly. We are going. I'm positive we're going to end of year.
Yes.
It was nice to have you, Colton. We can't be waffling any more than we should be. So I'm gonna say I have to say goodbye to all our fans, our viewers. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment.
Also,
Is there other things that
can you
must
can you
go
also
into?
rate Liam's braids, his
right,
cornrows?
no,
Please do give us a rating, 1 out of 10.
Can you show us?
Can you please show us at least the top, Just give us that. Woo! So if you are in the comments, let us know. Give us a shout out. 1 out of
Always.
10. What do you think of his cornrows?
Don't
Yeah.
judge, please. Don't judge me, please. I'm very sensitive. Please. Okay, thank you, guys. We are out. Peace.
Peace.